So I see you got your blazer on.
Dude, yeah, just hopped out of another meeting onto the next one. So,
Man, I had a blazer on earlier and I was debating with myself, like, do I want to put a blazer on because that's been my format? And then I kind of just decided to go with a sweater for you. So I hope you don't feel disrespected or anything like that. A few of the folks on the channel got the blazer treatment. A few even got the tie treatment.
Ah, man, I'm jealous. One day I'll get to the tie level and I'll be able to do that, right?
Nah, man, I could go throw one on right now. I got like 15 subscribers. I will throw one on right now if you want me to. Trust me, I'm very hungry.
If it makes you feel better, I have bedroom slippers on underneath the blazer because. So my name is Chris Chapman. Whenever I'm in trouble, I'm Christopher Reed Chapman. So let's just stick with Chris Chapman there. Where is a good place to connect with me? So LinkedIn, I'm on there as Chris Chapman. You can type me in on Google, and I'm actually the third link on the webpage there. So pretty pumped about that. And then also Instagram, Chris Chap, and then my podcast. You can type in Next Level Minds on Instagram, and you can see some snippets there of some recent episodes as well. So.
Yes, and you are not the Chris Chapman on YouTube, which I try to look up, and the gentleman is clearly not you. Tell the people what it is they can expect when they actually go to your channels and check you out.
Man, I got my hand in a lot of different industries, as you probably noticed, just kind of researching me. So first thing is the whole 8 to 5. I work for a company that makes annual economic business reports. I cover the Charlotte, Atlanta, and Raleigh region. How we build out this report is we basically interview 250 of the top level CEOs in the respective cities on why companies should move their business to Charlotte, Atlanta, Raleigh, for example. So that's kind of the day job, running that, connecting with different CEOs, which hence why I have the blazer on, because I just got out of another meeting. Additionally, outside of that, I run my own podcast, which I've been doing for about 2 years now. Similar to your feedback, speaking with different business leaders on how they grew their business from point A to point B, overcame failures.
That's how I found you initially, was the podcast was what got me.
Yeah. So doing that, and then also just love creating content on Instagram and LinkedIn on really trying to inspire people to reach the next level, whether it's their business, personal, or career life. So got a lot of content that I produce on Instagram, of course. Got a lot of stuff I do on LinkedIn. I'd say those are definitely the two biggest avenues there for the kind of personal brand content distribution side of things.
All right. What so like tell me like how like what influenced you to want to be I'll call you an influencer. Is that all right? I hope that's not like an offensive term.
No, that's fine.
So what like influenced you to kind of want to get on the bandwagon and kind of jump in here and show people what you do?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So I grew up in Charleston, like I mentioned, grew up in a pretty middle class family. So we always had a roof over our head. I'm very fortunate of that. Parents did everything they could to kind of help me out, but we really didn't have a lot of money. So at an early age, I started really working for my own dollar, cutting people's grass, going door to door. Just that kid hustling, saying, "Hey, how can I make some money?" Washing people's windows, cars, just you name it. Odd jobs were kind of like my middle name back then, growing up. So I've always had kind of that entrepreneurial spirit, and I've always wanted to share that with others as well. So, when I went to school at Clemson is a fantastic school. There's like 20,000 students there, but I unfortunately saw so many people that had so much potential not reach it based on the decisions that they were making, whether it's skipping class, not applying for good jobs, just honestly going with emotions. And I'm like, you know what? All these people I'm hanging around have so much potential. They're just not utilizing it.
Man, just collecting unemployment checks and doing shitty YouTube videos?
Dude, it's awesome. What more could you want?
So much better than working in real life.
I started developing ways that I could help people reach their full potential. That's something that really inspires me. And the mediums that I do that is through the podcast, through the Instagram channel, through the LinkedIn. Again, distribute a lot of content on like personal brand, positive perspective, gratitude, entrepreneurship, things like that.
See, because it's funny you say that, because I see you as that type of dude, but I'm the type of dude that will like to talk shit on YouTube, one. But the other thing is like, I like to crush a bag of cookies and watch football on like a Sunday. Do you get in those moods? Because I feel like I look at you, I see the blazer, I see a dude that doesn't do a whole lot of crushing cookies. I've even seen you topless in a few of your pictures.
Still working actually right now and gaining some weight. It's definitely hard to gain muscle if you're a skinny dude like me.
Huge, swole.
Like me. So that's a struggle. But yeah, man, I mean, it's not a perfect world on my end. You know, I struggle all the time with things. You know, I think humans are inherently lazy, so I fall into that trap all the time. You know, even today I had like 5 people that I knew I should call, and I unfortunately lost the battle with myself because I think success is a whole you versus you type of game. And you know, I should have, and now I'm even talking about I should have picked up the phone and called these 5 people, but I pushed the task off till tomorrow morning because I was like, you know what, it's later in the day. So yeah, I still messed up on opportunities like that, but I think something that I really strive for is trying to get 1% better every day. Something that really helps me out is journaling at the end of the day, writing down, all right, what did I accomplish? How did I move my success forward? What did I slip up on? And then looking at that at the end of the week and realizing like, all right, maybe I could cut back on this. Maybe I could add more of this. So life's a continuous game of daily habits and behaviors that I think are going to dictate your success. But to your point about watching the football, I got caught watching Outer Banks on Netflix, which I really don't watch Netflix.
Oh
but
man, that's a teeny bopper show. I tuned in for that.
I've been watching a lot of reality shows where somebody gets married at the end.
I think the true success comes when you wake up and you're just having one of those days, you know, those days where you're tired, you're exhausted, you don't feel like doing it, but you do it anyway and you still give it 110%. And then again, it's okay to mess up and be like, you know what, like I failed, I didn't do this. But then again, that's when you can look at the weekly review in your journal and say, all right, like, what did I mess up on? How did I move forward? Did I get 1% better this week? And it helps too, because a lot of times, I'm sure you feel like this, listeners probably feel like this sometimes too, because I know I do, is you can get caught in this rut where you're like, oh, I'm doing so much work, I'm not getting anywhere, this is crazy, what the heck's happening? But if you do that week by week, that's when you can start looking like, wow, I accomplished this, I made this happen, I did this podcast, I messaged these 5 people, like I am moving forward, even though if it doesn't feel like it.
I'm glad you said that because that's very encouraging for the place I'm at with my little YouTube channel here. Because it's like, I just kind of feel like everything I'm trying to do is put like 1 foot forward, meet another person I'm interested in talking to, hit them up on Instagram, and just kind of see if, and funny enough, like I'm actually surprised at how good of a response people are interested and they're like eager to talk about themselves. So I feel like it's like, that's my thing, is like just talking to people I'm interested in talking to. So let me ask you this, because you talked a little bit about journaling, but one of the other things that fascinated me about you a little bit is I see you actually write down your goals. I see that you actually it's just like a basic, I don't want to say it's like a journal even, because it looks like it's just like a little book. You got like 5-6 goals. Tell me what that does for you.
Oh man. So scientifically, goal setting, people who set goals for their life, is scientifically proven that they're happier and more content and more engaged in their life. And I really think that comes down to 2 reasons. I think number one, it's really because you're taking ownership of your life. You're figuring out, okay, I'm here, I want to get here. So that strives to give you a bigger purpose and a bigger why, if you will, on why you should kind of wake up the next day. And number 2, I think it's happier because, again, if you can reach those goals, again, you're striving towards something that you're actually reaching. So, you know, if you set a smaller 0 to 3 month goal that you're giving yourself a 3-month window to accomplish it, if you're not feeling that much momentum after 3 months, you can say, you know what, I accomplished this goal, this goal, this goal, and that could push you forward even when you're not really feel like it. So I write down my goals. So I do yearly goals like everyone else, but I also get pretty technical with it, where I write down 0 to 6 month goals, 6 months to 2 year goals. And I'm looking over here because I have it all hung up.
Yeah, hey, pull it off the board. Show it to me. I'm curious what it looks like. If you're not embarrassed about it, I don't want to put you on the spot.
I'm not embarrassed. It's just straight up like glued to a bulletin.
Oh, okay. Well, like, don't sweat it. But yeah, I mean, like, that's what I'm curious about. Like, how's your, like, do you have like Post-its all over your mirror? What, like, how do you set up? Like, where do we put these goals? How do we hold ourselves accountable?
So I got 0 to, well, first off with goals, you need to ask yourself, grab a cup of coffee, ask yourself, where do I want to be in my career? Like, really think about it. Don't put your phone under the pillow, under the couch. Don't touch it. Literally just headphones. If you want to listen to music, grab a cup of coffee. Say, where do I want to be in my career? Where do I want to be financially? Where do I want to be in my personal life? And personal life, I group physical and mental in there. So how many books do I want to read? How much weight do I want to lose? How much weight do I want to gain? Whatever the case is for you. If you have a side hustle, which not everyone needs to have one of those, that's just how some people like to roll, like myself. So what are your goals in your side hustle? And then if you have faith, what are your goals spiritually in your life as well. So actually ask yourself, like, where do I really want to be in a perfect world? If I had a wish for each one of these categories, where could it be? And honestly, just like thinking about that with no distractions for an hour, and you'd be surprised of what can happen. And like pick up a piece of paper, start writing it down. So that's the first step, to figure out what you actually want. Because I was talking to a friend the other day on Instagram Live, and would you fill up your car with a full tank of gas with no destination and just keep driving?
Yeah. I mean, not really, no, but I mean, I understand your analogy.
So same thing with your life and your goals. Like, you're filling up your gas tank of life every single day when you wake up, drink a cup of coffee, ready to go. You need to have a destination point of where you want to get, or else you're just not going to reach anywhere. You're going to run out of gas and you're going to not have accomplished really much at all. So having that desire of what you want, step one, and then start breaking down goals on that. So let's say your goal just financially is to make $100,000 a year. That's going to say, okay, what is this per month? What is this per week? If you really want to get technical, what is this per day? That doesn't really work unless you're in like a sales position where you can kind of control and fluctuate your income. But let's say you're in a job that makes 80 and you want to make 100.
Still have the goal to get to promotion or what the next pay grade is.
Yeah, get to a promotion or figure out that extra $20,000 gap. What are some things you can do to reach that? Okay, I could flip stuff on eBay. Okay, I could maybe cut some grass on the weekend. I could bartend. What are some ways that you can get that $100,000? Or you can invest in GameStop, which went from $15 to like $230 in a week.
And during the pandemic, when everybody's sitting home playing video games, did you do that?
No. I was actually just talking to a buddy today, and he just texted me like a snapshot of GameStop, and he's like, "Dude, imagine if we would have invested in this like 2 months ago." I'm like, but point being with all that is like figure out alternate ways. So you have to break that down monthly there.
Well, now here's another thing, because I saw this on your Instagram. You were talking to another guy who his profession looks like he's in real estate, because I saw him making cold calls to, he wasn't calling commercial properties. He was calling, people that, homeowners trying to invest in their properties. So in your opinion, is it smarter to invest in that single stock? Because to me, that's a little bit like gambling, as opposed to putting your money in an index fund and just letting it go and go and go until you're ready to take it out. Like, what do you think is the best idea?
So in my opinion, I think the best idea is, if you don't know anything about the stock market, put your money in an index fund if you just want to watch it grow. But for myself, I was kind of taught about the stock market when I turned 18. My uncle was one of the people in my family who did it right and retired at 50 because of proper investing. So he tried to teach me about the stock market. So I already knew a little bit before I actually started making money, putting money in there. But if you don't know anything about it, you just heard about this whole stock market thing, put your money in a US-based index fund. But also with the stock market, I like to do the 80-20 method. So I'm not some super genius or guru with the market. I probably know, that's how much like financial advisors know. I probably know this much. So I stay in my lane here. So I like to do the 80-20 method, where I put 80% of my money in blue chip companies, the Microsofts, the Googles, the IBMs, the big companies that aren't going anywhere in the world. And then I'll use the other 20% just for fun little trades, like maybe a Tesla flip, or like you mentioned, the GameStop example, just like kind of innovative companies like that to see what can happen. So, but yeah, real estate's good too. I mean, like I said, I like to if you're going to invest, stay in your lane. I think real estate is an amazing investment. I mean, the guy I did the live with, he's doing really well with that. But again, the back end, I lived in the same apartment complex with him for 2 years. And literally every day for 2 years after work, he would watch videos, read books, read articles. So he knows the market like crazy.
I was just about to ask you, because he's got something, and this isn't like a knock on him by any stretch of the imagination, because he's got something on his Instagram too, where he's got a picture of, I think it's like a closing document on a property, and he's getting the cash out, and it's like $40,000 whatever dollars. And like, I'm looking at that and I'm like, I'm glad you're bringing this up, because I'm looking at it going, I guarantee you this guy didn't just do this overnight. Like, this wasn't just like a whim he went out on. Like, this is a couple years in the making.
Oh, so true. And that's the thing that people don't see behind people's success. Like, I could look up his Instagram and be like, oh man, he's so lucky. But like I said, I lived in the same complex with him for 2 years, and every day after work, reading books, watching YouTube, really figuring out the game. And so he's comfortable to invest in real estate because he knows it so well. but I'm not comfortable with taking, you know, 5 or 10 grand and put it in real estate because I don't know what the heck that market's doing. And I only want to put my money in something that I'm comfortable with, that I know about.
Yeah, I think that's part of the problem with real estate is that you see the stuff on like, you know, Bravo or on like HGTV where it's like a dude that goes and he just throws X amount of money into a house and flips it in like 35 days. And it's like, you need a lot of construction knowledge. You need to know what the rental markets are. You need to know what the materials are on the building. Like it ain't as simple as they make it sound. So like, I always like to, so I'm just kind of curious how somebody else, so you're not really in the real estate world necessarily, but he is, and you know him well. So I'm sort of, you're speaking on his behalf. So I'm kind of going, you know, what's this guy doing? So let me also ask you this, because let's go back to the goal setting thing for a second.
Yeah.
Writing down your goals. So to me, and this is the way explained to me, and once it was explained to me like this, when you write down your goals, your activated reticulum, and you can correct me if that's wrong, is a piece of your brain that filters information, begins to pick up on the little things that get you closer to this goal. What's your understanding of that?
So the more that your mind sees that goal, that thing written down, the more it gets pushed into your subconscious mind. So you're always thinking about it. And your subconscious mind actually dictates your behavior if you know it or not. Your subconscious mind is really what's controlling you. So the more you put your goals in front of you, the more that your mind is naturally going to react to help you move towards that goal. So like I have my 0 to 6 month goals, 6 months to 2 years, and then 2 to 8 year goals. A lot of them are financial in front of me at all times in my little home office. I also have also another thing with goals too is a good friend of mine, Zach, told me this. Images are so important. He said, "Hey, purple elephant," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, So what do you think about purple elephant? So like I have a little vision board set up where I got like a Toyota 4Runner printed out, which I really want one of those SUVs. I got like a bunch of other travel stuff up there. I want to be 30 under 30, so I got that on a little snippet there. And my mind's constantly always thinking about that. So like the whole writing things down is so true.
Well, I think even like just to kind of like an exercise like I've done is something random, like you said, a purple elephant. Before the end of this week, and like I haven't thought about a purple elephant before this conversation, I guarantee you I'm going to see a purple elephant on TV or wherever, or a representation of a purple elephant. And now even as I say this, I was like, where am I going to go that I might see a purple elephant? Maybe I'll go to like an amusement park or something like that, and that's where the purple elephant is. But I think that's how your mind begins to work when you write down your goals. It kind of says, oh, you can go to this place and see a purple elephant. Like that's my understanding of how it works when you really write down your goals, is like you begin to pick up on these sort of things, and then you start thinking about how you're going to get there and see the purple elephant.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And another good example with that too is, did you ever play that game as a kid when you're on road trips where you'd say like, all right, I'm going to do white cars, you do red, you do blue, and whoever counts the most. It's like you're think about it. If you choose blue, you're constantly looking for blue cars. Like you're seeing them pop up. You almost see more blue cars than normal, but it's not true. Your mind's just looking for that more.
Yeah. So what car did you say you were going to get?
Toyota 4Runner.
Yeah. So I guarantee you, like, again, with my purple elephants, I'm going to see a Toyota 4Runner now. It's like on the front of my brain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's so true. Like I'll be in the car with my fiance and I'll be driving and I'll be like, oh my gosh, look at that 4Runner. And she's like, how in the world did you even notice that? That's on like the other side of the highway. And it's like, again, it's printed out. I see it every single day. It's in my subconscious mind.
I feel like that's very much in your grasp though. Like we just need a couple $1,000s. We can do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I want one of the lifted ones with like the nice tires.
Oh, so you don't want just any you want like a nice one.
Yeah. So, and I don't want to take out a loan for it. I'd rather like save up, pay for it in cash. But I don't know. We'll see. The time will come. It's just a patience game at this point.
All right. Tell me about the everyday. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm reading this right because I butchered it when we were chatting beforehand. Everyday life shit challenge. What is that? And correct me if I pronounced it wrong.
No, you're good. One more thing about the goals I wanted to touch on, actually just read this, and then I'd love to talk about it. So I recently learned about Parkinson's law, which basically states that the amount of work adjusts to the time that you have available for completion. So breaking that down, that's why your goals need to have deadlines, if you don't have a deadline, you're not really going to reach it. You may reach it, but you're not going to, you're going to have a less percentage chance. So according to Parkinson's law, if you set a 6-month goal, you have a higher probability of implementing the work to make that happen in 6 months based on that law. So I always like to make a 12-month goal. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to push this up to 9. And that has actually worked out really well for me. So
Really?
have a deadline on the goal. And I literally have that written down, and then I have it in my Google and Outlook calendar. Like, so, and it's going to, you know how you can do a reminder on your calendar, like a minute before. So I literally have it a month before that's going to send me a reminder about this goal. So I'm like, oh shit, like I'm getting closer. Am I there yet? Am I going to get it? And again, subconscious mind constantly reminding your mind of that goal. So
that's awesome.
Just wanted to harp on that.
No, that's fine.
The everyday life shit challenge. So
say it again to me so I can get it straight.
The everyday life shit challenge.
There you go.
So little backstory, good friend of mine, Teddy, he owns a pretty successful company that they were fortunate to be on Shark Tank, Kanga Casemate, basically take a koozie for your beer. Him and I are pretty close. He was on my podcast a while back. He gives me a call like right before the new year. And he's like, hey man, like I've been seeing what you're doing on Instagram. Like I want to get more into this kind of mindset, positive perspective type thing. He's like, what are your thoughts about doing like a 30-day challenge where we do maybe 3 or 4 things every day for 30 days. We videotape each other on Instagram, document the journey, and get people to sign up and join with us. So I was like, yeah, man, let's do it. So we picked out the 4 items, which I'll touch on in a moment, but we're like, all right, we have to have a name for this. And I finally called him like 9 hours after he sent me that text. I'm like, hey man, sorry, like I've been in and out of things. Like, you know how it is, man. Everyday life shit just keeps coming up. And he's like, hang on a second. That's named the challenge Everyday Life Shit. I'm like, let's go. So we came up with that name. And basically what this challenge is for 30 days, we are doing 4 things. And those 4 things are drink a gallon of water every day. And that includes the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. Journal every day. So in the morning and the evening. And then 30 minutes of working out. That could be running, walking, lifting weights. I suck at golf, but I love it. So I have 30 minutes. If I'm on the driving range, it counts because I'm breaking a sweat. So 30 minutes working out, and then just a Bible verse on the Bible app every day. Just open it, read a verse, start the day with that. So yeah, man, it's been nice.
Look, how can we, as biblical people, God-fearing people, how do we name our challenges with shit in there? We can't like sister. Look, I grew up Catholic. Sister John Helene would have smacked my knuckles with a ruler, black and blue, if I told her I was going to read a Bible verse in my Get Shit Done challenge.
You know what's funny? My mom is, very faithful, and she was like, hey, like came up with like a better name type of thing. She was so nice. So I'm like, yeah, I probably could have type of thing. So
I mean, I don't care either way. I'm just saying, Sister John Helene would be proud. You're reading verses out of the Bible. However, she would be very salty about the name of this challenge. She might even call it blasphemous.
Totally agree. Maybe I should do 2 verses a day, right, to make up for it.
There's some kind of penance in there. Look, as a Catholic, which I'm not really that Catholic anymore. I can't even remember the last time I went to church. That wasn't a wedding or a funeral. However, There was a time in my life when I went to church a whole lot. Sister John Helene would not be fired up about the Get Shit Done challenge. I keep calling it the Get Shit Done challenge. Everyday life shit challenge is what it's called.
Yep. So yeah,
but I've been following it. Are you at the end of the challenge or what?
Today, which I will get, I just need to drink 3 more cups of water. We will be at day 26 after today. So.
And how many full days do we do? 31, right? Because we didn't know 30 days were in January, or vice versa. We didn't know 31 days were in January.
To be completely honest, going back to the whole, I'm not perfect, I made mistakes. New Year's Eve went out a little too late and was gonna start on the 1st. I'm like, there's no way I can make it in the gym.
This is gonna happen on the 4th, on the Monday after the New Year's weekend. That's when this is gonna happen.
So yeah, it's 30-day challenge. But yeah, we're gonna do a different one in February. We'll probably add maybe like read every day. But yeah, I got a little group text or group message on Instagram with I think like 8 other guys in there, which is nice from like an accountability standpoint. Like Saturday afternoon, hey, keep up with the challenge. I don't care what you're doing. Make sure you still have it. And this challenge has taught me a ton about discipline. I mean, I'm really good from Monday through Friday, and I really don't go out. Like I don't go out a ton on the weekends because I have a lot of shit going on, but Saturdays can be kind of hard because like hang out with friends. I may go golfing, may go to the breweries. So like it's disciplined me to force myself to get up at like 7 a.m. on Saturday, even if I don't feel like it, and make sure I get the gallon in before lunch, the workout in, the journal, the Bible. Cause like once 1 p.m. hits, like I'm done with my work for the Saturday morning. Like I want to go have fun. So that's taught me a lot about discipline, even on the weekends.
Tell me the worst job you've ever had.
Man, I like have had so many like random jobs.
Oh yeah, now I'm interested. What's the give me the one where you're shoveling poop on a farm, wiping down stripper poles.
Oh, that was a fun one. I'm just kidding. Man, I'd say so. Between summers of college, I worked landscaping in Charleston one summer, and Charleston, South Carolina, literally will get like
180 degrees, 100% humidity.
So hot, and it not necessarily the work was bad. We'd start at like 6:30 and we'd end at like 6, but it was just the boss that was running this company. He was this massive dude, way more jacked than I am, but he thrived off talking down to people. So like if you were late or missed a spot, he'd be like, dude, what are you doing? You don't know what you're like. He would talk down on you, everything you did. So that combined with 100-degree heat, combined with being a college kid going out 4 or 5 times a week, waking up at 5:30, all that combined, it was just not fun. But like, again, it taught me what I mentioned earlier about like the successful people do the work even when they don't feel like it at all, type of thing. So
when you die, what do you want God to say to you when you arrive?
That's a really good question. So I want him to play a movie of my life.
Yeah.
And it's titled Chris's Full Potential. And I want my life that I just lived to literally match up scene per scene to that movie that he just played.
Wow, that's next level.
Yeah. So because I think, again, like reaching your full potential, I want to make sure that every day I'm utilizing that. And I think that God has called everyone to live their best life. And that's why I think you just need to get up and get after it. So